What an intense, edge-of-your-seat, nail-biting type of chapter, boy, I tell you. And by the end of it, I was just like, oh, shit! Naruto number 83, The Ultimate Defense. Crumbles? Oh, boy. Whew, this is as good as advertised, at least so far, anyway. Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, and I'm here to bring you another review on the awesome and action-packed, sand-filled, lotus technique-filled tale of Naruto. Now, our last chapter saw us, of course, starting off Volume 10 and starting it off with a bang as the fight between Lee and Gaara got underway. And Lee wound up going in about halfway through, maybe 2 or 3/4 way through the chapter, wound up taking off the weights that he has to actually slow him down to keep him at, like, a human speed. And he started just going batshit ballistic crazy, like, cheetah speed off the fucking flow charts, man. And at the end, winds up, boom, and nailing Gaara and actually cutting his face open. Now, remember, this is a dude that's never been hit, supposedly, right, according to his brother. So that's how the chapter left off. That's how the chapter winds up picking up right here, man. Lee's speed, you think, okay, what's a foregone conclusion? Now, Lee, he's just gonna come right at him and just be so fast. So Lee he's moving around, he's pummeling him, he's chucking, he's jiving, but it's faster than the eye can see, man. He's just getting in there, right? I cannot wait to see this shit animated, right? Oh my god. Anyway, so he's going at it, he's taking him out, he's doing this, he's doing that, and all of a sudden, bam, bam, you know, and he hits him. And then, what winds up happening is we go and we see Gaara, and it looks like his face is just starting to kind of like crack off, almost like a porcelain doll or something like that. And I'm like, what the hell? And then I'm thinking, okay, well, sand, you actually can make glass from sand. Obviously, there's a refining technique and process, but nonetheless, I'm thinking, okay, maybe that has something to do with some kind of glass or whatever, this and that. No, what he can do is... And Kankuro explains this, of course, you know, as he's kind of being the narrator to Naruto and anybody else within earshot distance. He says, listen, this is unlike, he can do like a thin layer of armor over him, basically, right? Now, there's drawbacks to it. It's not nearly as strong as his sand shield because, see, this actually takes a good amount of his chakra, takes his concentration, and it's sitting right against his body, so he still does take, I'm sure, some of the impact of it, and it also weighs him down, makes him heavier, so he has to expend more energy and more chakra to do moves at a regular speed, right? So basically, he's purely in defense mode, right? And I really love the picture that they put here, man. Look at this shit. Look at these two, man. Oh my god, just doesn't that look awesome? Just like forehead to forehead, like, yeah, come on, motherfucker. Beautiful stuff. But apparently, though, this is, you know, when Gaara feels like he's backed in a corner and he's, you know, and he may have a chance of losing and whatnot, this is what he'll wind up using. It's kind of his last resort, his last go-to thing. The wall of armor, obviously, is explained to be better because it's unconscious. It just, the sand just sort of forms and just creates a wall and a barrier around him, and again, it's several feet usually from his body, so it's far enough away that he doesn't absorb any of that impact, you know? So I'm thinking, man, you know, okay, so he's in some trouble now, right? So Gaara goes in, but he's got this, and most of the time he's got them raccoon eyes, but he's just got this dead, lifeless, you know, I'm always animated. Imagine if I was just like, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. And if you saw that shit, you would not watch the video. You wouldn't. Just honest, I wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't want to record it. I'd want to hang myself in the bathroom. You have to have a little bit of life to you, but Gaara is very, very much just very stone-faced all the time. Does not let any of his emotions go. And now he goes in, and there's this picture, and this is what really got me. When he goes and he puts the wall of sand over him. Look at that, man. He looked like a cackling ass, look at a little schoolgirl, like all excited. Like that, you know? Look at that shit. And he's just like, he just looks crazed. Just crazed, right? And even Kakuro's like, oh shit, man, I haven't seen that look in a while. Usually Gaara just kind of chill, you know, he's just sitting there, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Not today. So Gaara, we know, is now kind of getting in he's getting in that mentality of like, okay, I'm gonna fight with everything I have. I think before he probably took this as a, yeah, I'll take this guy out, he's fast, but whatever, you know, his kicks are nothing, I can take him out. And that really is kind of how he looked at it going into this, but I think he underestimated his opponent greatly. So anyway, so then goes in and so Lee's like, you know what, he's got this armor around him, blah, blah, and you kind of see the inner monologue of Lee. And in his dialogue inside his head, and he's going, all right, you know, how am I going to get through? The only way I can get through this is basically to just kind of pummel on this armor. Now, Kankuro winds up telling Naruto that the armor has a number of different weaknesses, or maybe even says it in his own head, but whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is that, you know, you have to go and discover those weaknesses in battle, and this is kind of his last resort thing, but it's still very, very strong, very formidable, and sometimes the best offense is a good defense, or an excellent defense in this case. So anyway, as we get back into the fight over here, right, and Lee goes and he's starting to come at him with a flurry of things, he goes and he's like, that's it, and he's going to go and he's going to charge up, right, bro? He's going to charge up, and he's going to come at him with the Lotus technique, right? Guy tells him, let loose, man, explode on his ass, go ahead, and so he's getting ready, man. He's pulling, summoning all his chakra. He's getting it all in there, taking a deep breath. Right? Take a deep breath. And he's relaxing, and he's about to come at him. He's about to come at him with the Lotus. So he does. And Gaara's like, come on already. Right? And I'm thinking, oh, man, boy, you got balls the size of watermelons. Balls the size of watermelons, boy. Anyway, he come at him, man. And he Lotus, and he bam! Right under the chin, he puts one in. Bam, bam, bam! And he's popping them up in the air, right? Dudes are like 20, 30 feet up in the air, defying gravity, and the laws of physics don't fucking matter. It's Naruto. We don't care. We don't give a fuck. It is good stuff, right? They're in midair. Midair. And there's this moment where they show a couple of different panels and kind of almost like to kind of flash, almost to give you that like, okay, some time is lapsing, a split second, whatever it may be. And that's all it might take, right? And Guy goes and he says, man, the Lotus technique takes so much out of you, so physically draining that it actually causes you pain to be able to go and perform it, right? So he goes and even says, he goes, better make sure that your next move is the decisive one, kid. And that's what he's thinking to his pupil, right? That's what he's saying, right? I don't know if he's thinking it, he's telepathically communicating it to him. I don't know. You know, he put on a little note, put in his lunchbox with his little peanut butter and jelly sandwich and his potato chips and his juice box, and he gave it to him and said, Lee, this is some shit. This is what you got to do, right? So Lee goes, and there's that split second of hesitation, right? But then he goes, and he grabs him, and at first I was like, what the hell's going on? Because it looks like somebody wraps somebody up in the bandages. You hear slither, slither, and I'm like, what the fuck, you know? But then you go and you see Lee driving downward with him, right? Like a pile driver, and he's like, forward Lotus technique, and just and I mean earth-shattering, man. Shit's flying, stuff's falling off the walls, right? Sasuke's in the next room. He wakes up like, what the fuck is going on? What? Orochimaru? Huh? Huh? He started sticking his finger in my ass. Anyway, crazy, crazy shit going on here, right? And you think, and then you just see the decimation and everything, and you're thinking, there ain't no way Gaara could have survived that, right? That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Gaara ain't going to survive that, right? And somebody even says, oh my god, is he dead? And Gaara's like, are you kidding? And I'm thinking, how could he have survived that type of shit? I don't care what type of shell you put on, man. Lee just destroyed the whole goddamn floor of the room. And he's the one, and what he used is Gaara's body as a projectile to destroy that. So he's gotta be dead, right? Nope. Sorry, he's not. In that split second, that moment of hesitation, when Lee kind of winced in pain because he was busting these moves and going to charge up for this super move, Gaara went and slipped out, the slithery, sandy little fucker that he is, little raccoon-eyed bitch. And he went and he slithered out and somehow got away. Obviously, well, Kakashi saw it, but apparently he's the only one, because even Guy was like, what the hell's going on? And Kakashi's like, yeah, you missed it while you were praying for your student there. And I thought that was a great jab between these two, right? But anyway, he winds up slipping out. And apparently this was just a shell, because when you go over and when they go and they actually show like kind of like the zoomed in panel from them, you know, from this explosion of awesome from Lee, right? I'm sitting there, I was like, oh, that was the sound I made when I was reading this. Oh! But anyway, I'm looking at this, and there he's laying on the ground, and there's just like this half kind of caved in porcelain, broken off looking face. No, it was just the shell. He left the damn shell of his body, the sandy shell. Go ahead, pound the fuck out of that all you want. I don't care, you know? And, And then at the end of the chapter, man, boy, all of a sudden you come up behind him. I know, this was awesome, man. And then he goes, and all of a sudden he's behind him. And I'm thinking, oh shit, man, you just see that slither, and you see Lee kind of like, oh shit. Because remember now, Lee went and just Lee did everything, right? Lee just went and busted a nut, okay? And I know that's a sexual reference, and I apologize because there is some younger viewers here, but the point being is that the metaphor for that busting a nut is, for a guy anyway, when that happened, you know, you're done. You're done. You ain't got nothing. You're not running no marathon. You can take a nap. You maybe gonna have a little snack. You maybe gonna have a cigarette. but you laying the fuck down and relaxing, right? You ain't going run no errands, you know? So the whole point of that metaphor about him Lee busted a nut, Lee gave everything on that one, and I don't see how he's going to wind up being able to recover. And it's demoralizing. You put everything you had into going and nailing not even the guy that you were supposed to hit. This is a back and forth affair that is just so freaking crazy. It's insane, man. Oh my God. All right. So that's how the chapter ends off. And my chapter question for you, go, and it's going to be another one of those, would you rather, right? Because I'm kind of enjoying those. So if you were Gaara, right, would you rather be able to have the capabilities like he has of that sand shield that's kind of inadvertent and keeps it up, but you never really feel the taste of battle? Because think about it. I mean, how fun can it really be always just decisively winning so much that you never even get touched? Would you rather have that as your power, your main offensive power, or would you rather have the sand shield that can protect you from most harm, but number one, you do feel some of the impact, so you actually still know what it's like to have a battle. See, a battle is not all about a one-sided thing. You want to feel as if you gave some and you got some. You know what I mean? You don't want to just... Nobody feels good about just coming in and being like, oh, I won. That guy didn't even touch me. That's just landslide, one-way bullshit victory. But would you rather have Gaara's sand shield, or would you rather have the sand armor? And why? Me, personally, I would rather go with the sand armor. You're going to have to train harder and work harder and concentrate harder, but in the end, even though you feel some of the blows and it's not impenetrable and everything else, I feel like it makes me a formidable but yet fair fighter, right? Whereas with the shield, I feel like you don't really ever taste battle, you know what I mean? That's my personal opinion, but would you rather have the sand shield or the sand armor if you were Gaara? Leave your answer to that question in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We'll look forward to catching all of you in the next one, Nation. Without all of you, none of this would be possible. Thanks for watching.